Broncos cornerback Chris Abrams-Draine could be facing serious consequences from the NFL after a controversial and brutal hit on Houston Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud during their Week 9 matchup, a play that has quickly become one of the most talked about moments of the season. It all happened in a flash. Stroud rolled out of the pocket trying to make something happen for his team, and as he went into his slide, Abrams-Draine came charging in with full speed and delivered a powerful blow that sent the quarterback sprawling on the turf. The impact looked violent on replay and immediately set off a wave of reactions from players, fans, and analysts across the league. At first glance, the officials decided not to throw a flag on the play for unnecessary roughness, but just because there was no penalty in the moment doesn't mean Abrams-Draine is out of trouble. The league office often reviews plays like this one, especially when they involve a quarterback being hit while giving himself up, and the final judgment could lead to a fine or even a suspension, depending on how the NFL sees it. Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans was visibly angry after the game, saying his quarterback was clearly in the process of sliding and should have been protected under the rules. Ryans argued that if it had been his defender making that hit, there would have been an immediate penalty without hesitation. Despite the controversy surrounding the hit, the Broncos managed to pull off a hard-fought 18-15 victory over the Texans, winning on a last-second field goal to extend their winning streak to 6 games and improve their record to 7-2. It was another statement win for Denver, but many people pointed out that the absence of Stroud for the rest of the game might have played a major role in the outcome. Ryans made his frustration clear during his post-game comments, saying he had seen similar situations where his players were flagged for much less. The Houston coach called out what he saw as inconsistency in the league's officiating and called for accountability. However, when watching the play in slow motion, things appear more complex. Stroud didn't fully commit to the slide until the very last split second, making it extremely difficult for Abrams-Draine to stop his momentum. In fact, it looked like the defender tried to turn his body and lead with his shoulder instead of his helmet. The unfortunate part came after the hit, when Stroud's head bounced off the turf, leading to his exit from the game. While Abrams-Draine's intent might not have been malicious, the optics of a quarterback being knocked out after a late hit were enough to ignite widespread debate about how defenders are expected to react in such fast-moving situations. The incident becomes even more ironic when viewed in the context of Houston's own recent history. Just last season, linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair of the Texans delivered a similarly controversial hit on Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence during a slide late in the 2024 season. The collision knocked Lawrence unconscious and effectively ended his year. The league came down hard on Al-Shaair for that hit, handing him a 3-game suspension and publicly condemning the play. In a statement from NFL Vice President of Rules and Operations Jon Runyan emphasized that continued disregard for league safety standards puts the health of players in jeopardy and will not be tolerated. Given that history, it was almost poetic to hear Al-Shaair himself react to the Abrams-Draine hit. When asked about it by Sports Talk 790's Adam Wexler, Al-Shaair said he understood how quickly things happen on the field and did not believe Abrams-Draine was intentionally trying to hurt Stroud. He admitted, though, that he was shocked there was no penalty, considering what had happened to him the previous year when he faced intense scrutiny and suspension over a similar situation. Al-Shaair said that while defenders always have to play fast and physical, there is a sense of helplessness when rules are enforced differently from one week to the next. For Chris Abrams-Draine, this entire situation adds a layer of drama to what has otherwise been an impressive sophomore season. Drafted in the 5th round of the 2024 NFL Draft out of Missouri, he spent most of his rookie year developing quietly, appearing in only 5 games, but this year he has emerged as a steady presence in Denver's defense, contributing in all 8 games leading up to the matchup with Houston, with starting cornerback and reigning Defensive Player of the Year Patrick Surtain to sideline due to a pectoral strain. Abrams-Draine found himself thrust into a larger role against one of the league's most dangerous young quarterbacks. The Broncos defense has built a reputation for its intensity and physicality, and Abrams-Draine has embodied that spirit this season. The hit on Stroud, while controversial, underscored how thin the margin is between playing aggressive football and committing a foul. Troy Rankoff, the Denver Post, reported live from the game, noting that Abrams-Draine appeared to hit Stroud in the chest rather than the head, and that the reason no penalty was ultimately enforced was because there was no direct helmet-to-helmet contact. Stroud managed to walk off the field under his own power, which was a relief to everyone in the stadium, though he did not return. Still, the incident reignited an ongoing discussion within the league about how quarterbacks are protected and how defenders can realistically adapt in real time. The speed of the game has increased over the years, and defensive players often have less than a second to adjust once a quarterback decides to slide. Some believe the NFL needs to clarify its rules to avoid confusion and ensure consistent enforcement, while others think defenders simply need to learn to play smarter and more disciplined. Football Abrams-Draine himself has yet to make public comments about the hit, but sources close to the team suggest he feels confident he followed the rules to the best of his ability and that any further review will show he did not make illegal contact. The Broncos organization has also not issued a formal statement, though head coach Sean Payton defended his player in a brief interview, saying Abrams-Draine was just doing his job in a difficult situation and that the team would support him no matter what the league decides. What happens next could set an important precedent. The NFL has made player safety one of its top priorities in recent years, particularly when it comes to protecting quarterbacks. As the league office reviews footage and gathers input from officials, it will have to decide whether this was simply a hard football play or a violation worthy of discipline. Either way, it will fuel the broader conversation about how physical defense fits into today's NFL, where speed, aggression, and safety constantly collide. As this story continues to unfold, fans will be watching closely to see how the league responds and how both teams move forward from the controversy. For Denver, it was a hard-earned victory that keeps their winning streak alive and their playoff hopes thriving. For Houston, it was a painful reminder of how fragile success can be when key players go down in the heat of battle. If you want to stay on top of stories like this with full analysis, post-game reactions, and updates from around the league, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of the latest NFL action.